Alright, so macros are recordings of your mouse clicks and keystrokes. Are used for things you do repeatedly in the exact same way. And so in this exercise we'll create a few useful macros, and you can see the Word document attached that takes you through the steps for creating 3 types of macros. So to set up the macro, you select the View tab and then you click Macros and Record. And then you type the name of the macro. You add a macro button, if you like, to the Quick Access toolbar, and then click the button, and Word Options Customize Quick Access toolbar screen opens. Record the macro, you enter the keystrokes you want, mouse clicks you want the macro to record, and you select the View tab and choose Stop Recording. So let's go into Word, and we'll go ahead and create a macro. I'll show you one that I already have. This macro up here, as you can see me hover there, normal, new macro, and it says a table 5 by 10. So when I click on this button, it inserts automatically a table of that size, so that I can avoid having to go through the table creation process every time I need a table of this size. Also, I have another macro here that sets the bold and italic configurations. When I click it, and then I type, I will get bold and italics. So let's go through and create a macro or two. So I go under my View tab up here, I go to Macros, and I say Record a macro. And now it wants to know the name of the macro, and we'll say table 5 by 5. That's the name I'm going to give it, and I'm going to create a button for it. And so I go out to my Quick Access toolbar. This is the macro I'm going to create. I add it, and now I have to change and modify it to pick a button. I go out and find a button that seems appropriate for this particular macro, and I'm not seeing anything too exciting. I'll just go ahead and create this little sad face guy, and then click OK. And now it's recording. You can see the little tape cassette that's attached to my pointer, and I go up under Insert, and I'm going to Table, and I'm going to do a 5 by 5 table. And now I'm done recording the macro. So I go back to my View tab, go to Macro, and I say Stop Recording. And now up on my toolbar up here at the top, you see the little sad face. I click there and I put in my 5 by 5 table wherever I would like to place it. So that's one kind of macro that you can insert. You could also insert another kind. Let's say we go up here to View, and we're going to pick the Record Macro option, New Macro. We're going to call it Sign Off. Alright, I'm going to put it on a button, and this time I have to add it over to my toolbar, modify it, and pick the kind of icon that I think would best represent what this is. I'll use the check mark here, click OK, and then OK again. And now this time I'm going to type in sincerely yours on the 3rd, and I'm going to then highlight that text, and highlight that again, and then I'm going to go to Home, and I'm going to pick a different font, and I'll make it a little bit larger, and then I'll go ahead, go back to my View option, and I go to Macro and Stop Recording. So now whenever I want my signature, I go up to my check mark and I pop in my signature there as well. Now you'll notice that this particular font didn't carry over to my Carl M. Kent III signature, and the reason for that was I didn't hit enter after the end of this line, and that's something in a macro that you should do. Let me try that again. So we'll go back to our view option, and we'll pick record a macro, and we're going to call it sign off 2 this time, and we'll have a button. I'll put that over there on my toolbar and modify it. This time we'll pick a little funnel and click OK. And now this time let's go up to home first, and let's pick the font that we want. And now let's type in sincerely yours, the 3rd, and then hit enter. And now I'll go back under view and go to macros, stop recording. So now when I want to insert that in, I go to the funnel and I type it in there and get my signature back in place. Alright, so now let's try another type of macro where we are going to highlight a bunch of information and then reformat it. So we'll go up under our macro, record macro, and we'll call it larger font. That's what we're going to call that, a button. And we're going to add that to our list, and we're going to pick modify, and we're going to pick a different icon that represents it on our toolbar. And now this time we're going to highlight all this text, go to home, and we'll pump up the font larger, and we can actually go ahead and change our font, and then we'll go ahead and go back to view, and well, we'll just click off there first, and then go back to macros and stop recording. So then the next time we want to do that to any kind of text, let's type this again here. I'll change the font over and get it back to a different type of font here. There we go. So now if I highlight that text and use that font, it will go ahead and change the formatting for that font that I want to change. Let me go back and show that to you again. We'll go to calibrate, and now if I highlight this and I pick that font, it will go ahead and change everything for me. So there's several different types of macros that you can create.